live via satellite from Hollywood and London, England. It's Rockline, the show where you interview the hottest stars in rock and roll. Hello again, I'm Bob Coburn. Rockline is brought to you in part by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Tonight, Rockline is an evening with Robert Plant. Robert is located at our Rockline studio at Capitol Radio in London. I'm here in our Hollywood Rockline studio, so get your questions ready and call us toll-free in the U.S. and Canada. 1-800-344-ROCK. That's 1-800-344-7625. One number toll-free from anywhere in North America. Well, there's no doubt about it. Robert Plant is a Hall of Fame performer, one of the legendary figures in rock and roll. His fame, of course, began with Led Zeppelin, but it certainly didn't stop there. With the release of Now and Then, his latest album, Robert's music has once again skyrocketed onto the charts worldwide. And it's a pleasure for Rockline to welcome Mr. Robert Plant. Nice to have you back, Robert.
Thanks a lot, Bob. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I should explain to everybody that if you're not aware, it's 4:30 in the morning where you're located in London?
It's 4:30 here. It's actually it's 10 o'clock in this room. a.m. and we haven't even started yet.
Well, pretend. Maybe it'll make you feel better. Thanks for getting up in the middle of the night and talking to our North American audience. Really appreciate it. First thing I want to ask you this morning or this evening, Robert, are you in the middle of a United Kingdom tour, or have you just concluded, or what's the story with that?
No, it finished last night in London after 4 weeks of traveling around Britain. It's a very exciting tour. Yeah, we finished in London last night.
Now, how about the new
climax?
How about the new band? How are things working out on stage with the new band?
Well, it's very exciting for me because well, I mean, you can chart my progress musically or the kind of material input I've created for the last 7 or 8 years in several different phases, like the Honey Drippers, the kind of easygoing return to the oldies, and the early stuff that I did with Robbie Blunt and co. was really pretty good. I was searching to try and do something different, but it kind of went a little aside, if you like. But this new band now and this kind of return to having a great time is very encouraging. It's really, really exciting. I've had a great time.
We'll be announcing some dates for Robert's forthcoming North American tour, and I read a couple of reviews from the UK, and people were absolutely raving about the new band. What were you going to say there, Robert?
Oh, yeah, it's been stunning. It's been really good. In fact, when you announce the dates, perhaps you can tell me too, because I'd love to go to them.
I'll be glad to inform you. Right now, let's play a song from Now and Then by Robert Plant. This is Tall Cool One on Rockline. Cool One, the name of that, from Now and Zen by Robert Plant, my guest for the entire 90 minutes tonight on Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn. We go for our first phone call now as we speak with Marie in Franklin, Louisiana, listening to 94.5 KSMB in Lafayette. Marie, you're on the Rockline with Robert Plant.
Hello, Robert.
Hello, Marie.
Hi. I wanted to say that I've listened to you for many years, and I think you have the greatest voice in music. And my question is, what led you to include excerpts from different Led Zeppelin songs on Tall Cool One?
Well, you know, I mean, people keep on asking me the same old thing. But Jimmy and I got together and we were laughing about all the inclusion of Led Zeppelin material and the kind of constant, I mean, I can tell how this program's going to go already, but the kind of constant reference in modern music to Led Zeppelin. I just thought, well, if everybody else is kind of doing it, I might as well join in. And Jimmy looked at me and he said, yeah, why not? And your record's coming out before mine, so. And also, really, I mean, it's. I think if you use it in a context, if you use snippets and stuff in a context like that, it's like throwing in some of the great dynamics of the thing, and really giving, at least on first or second listening or third or fourth listening, giving it such a wallop, and that you've got to turn around and smile a bit, or you got to go, what? And I like to think that music should be full of surprises, and you should have a good time with it. What do you think?
What do you think, Marie?
I agree very much. You should. Should have a good time and everything.
Sure makes it a lot more fun with that in there than it would have been, I imagine, with it not there. That's for sure. Marie, thanks for starting us off tonight. We'll take a time out and return in just one moment with Robert Plant. Your number to call toll-free from anywhere in North America, 1-800-344-ROCK. Bob Coburn, you're listening to Rockline on WRDU 106. Welcome back to Rockline. We've just gotten started on our evening with Robert Plant. We have a new affiliate station we'd like to welcome to Rockline tonight. One of the great radio stations in North America, WEBN in Cincinnati. Glad to have you aboard tonight. Let's hear from you this evening. We have a call now from Albany, New York. It's Paul, a listener of Pix 106. And Paul, you're on the Rockline with Robert Plant.
Hi, how's it going, Robert?
I'm fine. How are you, Paul?
You hear me?
Yeah, sure. I can hear you fine.
Yeah, we have a really good connection all the way over to London, huh?
Well, some may say it's London, others tell the truth. I don't think this is London at all. This is like being somewhere on Mars. I'm in the middle of a Kurt Vonnegut novel.
Oh, well, I want to get right down to my question, right down to brass tacks, Robert, just like you did with your new band. I want to know, since you've worked with a lot of really good musicians in your time, and, you know, you were in one of the most popular bands of the 70s, I think that was Led Zeppelin. And
I think it was as well, yeah.
I'd concur, yeah.
I think you probably remember that a little bit. I was just wondering what you hope to achieve with your new band members and why they drew you, what drew you to them as musicians.
Well, it's a very it's a good question, that is. What I hope to achieve is I want to make carefree, happy music. I guess really I've had a preoccupation with trying to get away from what everybody expected of me, and I think I did that quite admirably and quite well. I've seen the record sales. It obviously did something somewhere. But basically now, my state of mind and my kind of consciousness, if you like, is much more orientated towards fun and having a really good time and writing songs that are not too particularly too blue, if you know what I mean. And this band and the kind of relationship I've got with the guys and with the music that we create, even at sound checks before concerts, it's like we're writing new material all the time, you know. And my hope is really to write a lot of happy music, because I hear music around me all the time. A lot of it's really boring, and a lot of it's really like sounds like same old stuff all the time. And now and again you hear something that makes you smile or makes you sit back and go, God, that sounds like these people are really inspired. Really, all musicians must have the same attention to detail. That's basically what I want to do. You know, I've made a lot of records, I've written a lot of songs, but I feel very, very strong and very, very inspired right now. And I guess it's because the atmosphere is such. I'm working with young musicians. When I was the same age as these guys, I was bopping all over the place. But sometimes you get a little jaded. Sometimes things slow down a bit. But right now, everything's going about 10,000 miles an hour.
Robert, was this already a band that was performing together, or are these separate individuals that you put into a band?
No, they're separate individuals. It all began with, I guess, with Phil Johnston and the kind of demo tape that fell onto the floor in my management office, and I heard the first song, Heaven Knows. I mean, I know that's not particularly a happy song, but it's very inspired to me, a very inspiring piece of music. And it sort of harkened back. It was a girl singer, and it sounded a little bit like River Deep Mountain High type of feel. And I thought, well, this sounds pretty pompous. And having spent years in Britain listening to people like Style Council and other bands, and sort of men singing in aimless falsetto, wearing dresses, and sort of thinking, God, should I be so expressive and so pompous? And then hearing this music and being really inspired, I thought, yeah. So the guy who wrote it really was the key to the whole thing, because he introduced me to all the other members that we pulled together, and we just had rehearsals, and we had a laugh, and we had a good time, and we all wanted to be like Whitesnake. No, sorry, I didn't mean that. What I meant was, I bet David's lying in bed now there with 6 wives listening to this program. Go on, David, get up.
I want to thank Paul for calling. We're going to move on
Thank
now
you, Paul.
and find out what Joy wants to ask Robert. She's in Hollywood, Florida, listening to 97 GTR in Miami. Joy, you're on with Robert.
Hi, Rob.
Joy, I remember Hollywood. I remember that place. That's where you got the Sportatorium with a hole in the roof.
Yeah, that's right. And you got rain.
Yeah, I hear the
the
promoter's still sticking some bits of tarpaulin and plastic over the hole, I hear.
Yeah, they're kind of falling apart, I guess.
Yeah, there's an alligator in the parking lot trying to get one of my roadies, I remember. How are you?
Oh, good. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Oh, that's great. Well, I wanted to say that I love your new album. I think it's really incredible. And my
Thank you very
question
much.
is, I guess you kind of figured someone was going to ask you about this, but it's about the Honey Drippers project. And I wanted to know that I heard you weren't too pleased with it, but I wanted to know if you were happy that kind of brought your solo career kind of a wider audience, or did you think it was a mistake? Because you seemed to enjoy doing it at the time and stuff, but I heard you weren't really happy with it.
Well, I do kind of contradict myself a lot, I mean, what I enjoy doing 1 minute, I look back on the next, and I think maybe what it does is it splinters the attention of what I really should be doing. In other words, the Honey Drippers thing took such a short space of time, and yet was promoted and was so successful. I would rather have been getting on with something on the complete opposite side of what I normally do, I like to kind of wander around in a musical hinterland and end up with Heaven Knows or Tall Cool One, but I spent a lot of time thinking that Sea of Love might have been the answer. Now, I guess Sea of Love is a great song, and I can't regret anything at all. You can't, you do things and you do them. And I really had a great time, but I really would like to have gone on and reached the point that I'm at now in writing and creation or creativity of original material, perhaps a little sooner. And I think also maybe I just got a little bit jaded with working with the other guys for a while. And I'm being particularly honest, because a lot of bands, a lot of singers, a lot of guitarists don't say that. They pretend that everything's fine, and when there's a change, they don't talk about it that much, But I had a great time doing it, and I shall do it again. It's just that right now, Tall Cool One and that kind of whole attitude was kind of really what I should have been getting to. Much more upfront and much more stomping, You know what I mean, Joy?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it was neat. I mean, I can't say neat because I'm not American, but it was neat, and I had a good time doing it. But I really wanted to see where I got to now with this record. Personally, my own estimation of the thing is that songs like White, Clean and Neat are songs that I always wanted to write, and that whole kind of mood and feel of White, Clean and Neat is much more the Robert Plant who wrote the lyrics to Kashmir or Trampled Underfoot. So, if you write songs, and you might write poetry, or you might fill in a diary, and it might be really interesting to read in a year's time, then you think, God, why was I so preoccupied with that when I could have been doing that? I mean, if you could have 3 or 4 different channels of creativity running at the same time, then that could be perhaps the other way of doing it. Unfortunately, I'm not that capable of doing that. But the Honey Drippers was great. I mean, I formed the Honey Drippers when Led Zeppelin finished in 1980. In 81, I formed my own little Honey Drippers and played around the clubs in Britain, and it was great fun. You know, doing all those old songs. I mean, Bobby Taryn would have been really proud of me. And I think I did half the Atlantic catalogue without Ahmet buying me a meal. But right now, you know, I mean, I just feel like stomping a lot, so I keep looking back and going, oh, that was a bit wishy-washy. That was probably my Dean Martin period.
Joy, thanks for the call. Let's stomp a bit with Robert ourselves right now with Heaven Knows on Rockline. Plant's Heaven Knows from Now and Zen. We'll take a time out and return in just one moment. We have just gotten started with our evening with Robert Plant. You can call us toll-free from anywhere in North America. Only one number for the one and only Rockline, 1-800-344-ROCK. Eric Clapton.
Let it rain, let it rain. After midnight, I shot the sheriff.
The 73-song box set is coming next week. Crossroads, all Eric Clapton. You'll hear it first on WRDU 106. Watch out.
Rockline continues on WRDU 106.
Thank you.
It's your only choice. Don't drink and drive. RAD, Rockers Against Drunk Driving.
Hi, this is Ivor Davies from Icehouse, and you're listening to Rockline on the Global Satellite Network.
And Icehouse will be our guest next week. This evening, we're with Robert Plant. We've got a Rockline rolling definitely. And let's go to Tallahassee as we talk to George, a listener of Gulf 104. Good evening, George.
Good evening. How you doing?
Fine, George. How are you?
Good, Robert. Can I call you Robert?
Yeah, you can if you like. Don't call me Jimmy. Or certainly don't call, and please don't call me Audrey.
I will call you Audrey. Well, let me tell you that Heaven Knows is a great song, amazing album. And my question is, I was wondering how you came up with the title Now and Zen. I was wondering if Zen was inspired by Zen Buddhism.
No, it was an invention of my manager, who's sitting here quietly going through some paperwork and wondering where he's going to go next. I guess it's a pun, you know. I mean, I guess I've been making records for a long time, and I look back over the career, and I'm sure that Bill, my manager, who manages Pete Townsend, who's another prickly customer, and Roger Daltrey and people like that, you got so much behind you and so much to come that there's a kind of, it's like, as he said, well, now is now and then was then. There's so much to think about and so many kind of things that happen along the way, so many remarkable, enlightening experiences, that it is almost like a kind of whole picture. It's like one of those kind of pictures you see on the wall, you know, when you see a landscape and you can see beyond it and beyond it and beyond it. And I guess that's what it is, you know. The title kind of refers to the fact there's so many mountains and valleys and whatever it is of achievement and of music. But it's hardly transcendental, really. I haven't taken to wearing a caftan again yet.
George, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed the album, too. Let's move on now to Columbus, Ohio. We're going to talk with Al. He is a listener of QFM 96. Al, I'd like you to meet Robert Plant.
Hi, Robert.
How you doing, Al?
How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm in the middle of a chocolate cookie here.
First of all, I love your voice. And then I understand that Stevie Ray Vaughan would be opening up for you. And I was wondering if during your concert you would be performing any kind of melody with Stevie Ray Vaughan on stage together.
Well, I've only ever met him once, and that was when I was rehearsing in Dallas before my last tour. And it was one of those kind of prickly moments where you nod across the room and sort of wave but never say anything. However, I think he's a great player. I really admire his music, and I also really like his brother's guitar playing, actually, Jimmy Vaughan from the Thunderbirds. In fact, the Thunderbirds, and their early work especially, has been something that I play in the car a lot and something I play when I'm traveling around. Well, I would like to think that a time would come that we may actually do something together, but as I haven't seen him, I can't really comment on, you know, whether or not. A lot of guitarists want to get up and play with me.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, Al, thanks for the call. By the way, Stevie Ray will be on the opening part of Robert's forthcoming tour, and I'll give you some of those dates momentarily. Right now, we're going to head to Ottawa, Ontario. We're going to talk with Jason. He's listening to Shea 106. Jason, you're on the Rockline.
Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Jason. How are you?
Fine.
It's
way you're playing here on May the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing in Ottawa on May the 8th. You wanted to know about the tour date.
Yes, it's, thank you very much. That's somewhere in between Montreal and Toronto. Civic Centre, yeah?
It's really closer to Montreal. Anyway, my question is about your tours back in the days of yore with your mates Led Zeppelin. In late 68 and 69, you guys first toured the States, and it was in smaller halls, and you really took everybody by surprise with your great music. My question is, did you get more satisfaction from these early shows where you really had to prove yourself, or the bigger shows that you did later on when the band became famous? And did the other members of the band share your opinion?
Well, it's an interesting point, really. I think then, rather like now, I know that's almost a pun again, but really, you kind of play, you got to be okay within yourself as a unit. So when you're playing and when you're performing, there's some kind of communion musically on stage. Now that applies right now, just like it did way back then. And when we were playing small gigs in 1969, we were playing to please ourselves. We were taking ourselves to higher places, if you like, musically. And the kind of what was going on, the reaction that came off stage, beyond the stage, was something that was kind of secondary and was like a bonus. So I much prefer the smaller gigs, and I've just done a British tour, including a lot of universities and stuff, and I've had a great, wonderful time. In fact, I said this evening that it would be really hard after playing last night in a really quite a big theatre, but being able to smile and see people really clearly, that the smaller gigs are great. But the whole thing about the North American phenomena is that you can play the Civic Centre or Maple Leaf Gardens or whatever it is, and you can create that atmosphere because it's much more of the norm to play those kind of size places. But it doesn't matter how big it is. It's if you can cook it and if you can cut it on stage, that really is all that anybody wants to know, because then the whole thing becomes an event. You know, I mean, if you go into a big place like the Maple Leaf Gardens and you don't really cut it, then it's uncomfortable and embarrassing. And I've been to a lot of concerts in big and small places where it doesn't really work, and people are going in on the strength of a hit record or whatever it is, but they can't cut it live. I've been very fortunate because I've usually been with people who can really take it on beyond where it began, you know? And that was the thing about Led Zeppelin. I think, in a way, that's the thing about what I'm doing now, is that it gets better rather than stays the same or tries to match the record. So it doesn't matter to me. Anywhere will do.
Jason, thanks for calling. And the Ottawa date, as you mentioned, is the 8th of May. And on Robert's itinerary, it is between Montreal and Toronto. It's the 10th for Toronto and the 7th for Montreal. The opening date in Quebec City on the 5th. Other dates in the month of May: Rochester, New York on the 11th, the 15th in Hartford, 17th and 18th East Rutherford, New Jersey, Mansfield, Massachusetts on the 20th, followed by Columbia, Maryland on the 22nd, Philadelphia at the Spectrum on the 23rd, a date in Cleveland on the 25th, and Kalamazoo on the 26th. I'll give you a couple more in just a few moments. Right now we're going to listen to another song by Robert Plant from The Principle of Moments. This is Other Arms on Rockline.
Someday you're gonna regret. Where friends are talking, guess you never know. Despite a raven one day, lay down your arms, baby. Oh, when the deal is done, lay down your arms, child. You can be your only one. What you're using is hurting me bad.
Other Arms by Robert Plant from the Principle of Moments on Rockline on the Global Satellite Network. We're back to the phones as we continue our evening with Robert. We're going to talk with Scott now. He is in Chatham, Ontario, listening to WRIF in Detroit. Scott, you're on the show.
Hello, Robert.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
Oh, I'm really good. It's really an honor to talk to you. Let me tell you, I've been waiting for this for a long time.
You tell that to my girlfriend. She won't say a thing to me.
Before I get to my question, Robert, I got to tell you this. I've been reading in Rolling Stone on your interview about what they said about how you've been surrounded by echoes of Zeppelin for some time, and I just want you to know, David Coverdale, obviously. I just want you to know, Robert, you'll always be on top of them, and you're the greatest, one of the greatest rockers that have ever lived.
Well, I try and enjoy myself, Scott, and sometimes when I hear things, I turn around and I think it's me and it's not. You know, I think I'm going crazy, and then I realise that the hair is just a little bit different, you know? But thank you, Scott.
But the song remains the same, yeah.
I think you got to have a good time with this thing, Scott. And I mean, I don't know how many times Bing Crosby turned around and saw somebody else doing White Christmas, but perhaps they weren't all German. Anyway, what can I do for you?
Okay, Robert. Well, I don't want to put down your new band because they're great. Phil Johnson is obviously an excellent songwriter, but I went to see on your Shaken and Stirred tour in Detroit the day before the Live Aid concert in '85, and I was really moved by Robbie Blunt's guitar work and Jez Woodruff. You know, and what happened between you guys? Did you guys break up? You guys get along now? And what are they doing?
Well, I saw Jez last night at the final concert. We were all sitting in the dressing room. It's quite strange, really, because it's like all the kind of different bands and people I've worked with. There was my former wife and my daughter. That was one of the first groups I had. And then there was Jimmy Page sitting there, and Jez Woodruff, and myself, and Phil. And it was I guess 20 years of making sweet music all in the same room. I get on really well with Jez, but I think what happened really was with Shaken and Stirred that we didn't really cut it. I was proud of the record because I figured that the kind of current, in fact I know that the current way that music has gone is so weak and so sloppy in so many areas. I thought Shaken and Stirred was the answer. Now the trouble is that I was radically wrong. I mean, it's just another alternative, but it certainly wasn't the answer to all that kind of congealed crap that comes slithering off the radio, you know? And I think that between us, with Robbie as well, we went off the boil. We lost the point. And by the time we got back to Britain, we really didn't have it together at all. And nobody could tell the truth. Now, I think if you come and see this thing now, this band is so hot. And we don't have any of the kind of problems that were around before. It really is very instantaneous music, I personally feel. I know I'm right on top of it, but I think it's great. However, I mean, Robbie's a great guitarist, and I still think the world of him. I just don't think that the combination can work time and time and time again.
Have they landed in other bands, Robert? Have you kept up with them? Was the other part of his question, what are they doing now?
Oh, I beg your pardon. Well, Jez Woodruff has worked with quite a lot of different people. Yeah, I mean, don't hang up on me now. And I guess Robbie Blunt's done some work on the current Planad record, which is out. But, you know, I mean, the kind of impetus, the kind of driving force, the catalytic thing that creates music in a group of people can only last so long, and these guys have gone off to do something else, and I'm hopping around on hot coals again, having a great time. So I really wish them a great deal of luck. I think maybe if I'd have got to this point psychologically that I've reached now, I mean, I'm rocking like crazy, and I didn't do it then. So maybe everybody would have been a lot happier, and Robbie Blunt would have probably been bopping around a lot more if he was playing Tall Cool One and White Clean and Neat and stuff like that. So, you know, every dog has his day. And Robbie's a dog who's having a day somewhere else.
So, Scott, what he's telling you, if you liked the Shaken and Stirred tour, where do you see this one? And Robert will be with his band in Detroit on the 28th of May at Pine Knob, 29th in Chicago, 31st in Bloomington, Minnesota, followed by dates in Milwaukee on June 1st and Indianapolis on the 3rd. We're going to talk with Jay now in Miami, listening to 97 GTR. Scott, thanks for your call. Jay, welcome to Rockline.
Yeah, how you doing? Hey, can I call you Bob, too?
Well, don't call me Bob, because that was my granddad's name. I like Robert J. What's J short for?
It's just that. J.A.
Oh, there we are. How you doing?
Let me get to my question here. I know from a previous Rockline that for a solo album, Ann Wilson wants you to do a duet. I want to know if you're going to do it.
Anne. I'd love to do a duet with Anne. She was in London recently playing, the Heart were playing at Wembley. Unfortunately, I was on tour, so I couldn't be there. Yeah, I think they're a really spunky little pair of girls. Still bopping around and having a great time. I think they want to do an old song, though, don't they?
Quite possibly, yeah. I kind of got that feeling. They're a huge Zeppelin fan still to this day, and of course they did their own version of rock and roll. I remember that show that Jay's talking about. I had a feeling that's what they were talking about, was an older song.
Yeah, I remember them way back before they formed the group. Oh no, perhaps it wasn't them. It must have been Audrey. But I'd love to do it. Jay, I think they're great, and I saw them about 4 or 5 years ago doing Rock and Roll, the old Zeppelin track, as an encore. And I wanted to get up and jump up and play with them there and then. But I was a bit embarrassed, you know. But this time I don't feel quite so coy.
Well, I'd love to see this happen. She wants to, you want to. Something's got to give there. Something's got to happen somewhere at some time.
We'll have to have some meetings about it.
Jay, thanks for the call. Let's play some music right now from Now and Zen by Robert Plant. Another good one. This is called Helen of Troy on Rockline.